When it comes to retail media, for a long time that was seemed to be coming out of non-traditional media budgets, and now that's possibly changing. What kind of trends are you seeing on your side of things?
Yes, that's exactly right. It was originally coming from an e-commerce budget or a shopper budget or a trade budget, and as the dollars have become higher, it's now coming out of the brand budget or what I would call more traditional media budgets. And so clients now, brands, need to think about how they are investing their dollars with a full view, not just one part of the budget that traditionally might be coming from the sales team that's applied to that retailer or that customer. This creates challenges because the organizations are fairly siloed in terms of how they think today. There's the teams that are covering sales versus those that are on the brand building side or the media investment side. So it requires a full holistic point of view and budgeting process. Those planning processes tend to also be off cycle. So it really creates a different move in organizations to be able to really think holistically and approach a customer with a full budget view.
What about, you've seen different agencies somehow build a practice. There's standalone agencies that have technology for retail media, and then there's like the traditional media agency model. Does retail belong in any one of those or all of them?
This is the question. In my previous role, I was building the commerce practice for Publicis Group. That's the intention of thinking about tools, tech, talent, to be able to bring this into the way you do regular creative experience planning, regular media planning, and bring that point of view in. Then there are plenty of really strong specialty agencies. My point of view is eventually you need to be able to think holistically across, and that it should be part of a broader agency solution, only because of what I first stated, which is we need to make it easier on our clients, and they need us to be simplified. So on the flip side, though, those agencies, any agency needs to be using tools and technology in addition to specialized talent that understand this space more than traditional search, for example. It's not the same thing. So you need that specialty talent, but I believe the future is much more in an integrated point of view and offering versus continuing in the specialty space, which is similar to what we've seen with other things like social, et cetera, where it's important to have the specialty, but it eventually needs to be part of the broader fold.
What about, you hinted at this, it is a very crowded space all of a sudden, a lot of complexity. Do you think eventually that there needs to be some kind of consolidation and unification, or is that unlikely?
So I believe that the first thing is definitely around measurement and standards. So the IAB has really been leading this for retail media. It's not simple, but it's also a focus on building standardization, which I think is important. The retail partners are all in different levels of maturity in terms of their offering because it's their second job. Their first job is to sell stuff, and their new offering and their new part of their business is to be a media partner. So there's a wide variance in what you get from anyone that's been in it for a while, more traditional grocery, to now the rising tide of specialty. So because of that, I think there is a required standardized point of view that everyone needs to be trying to adhere to. That's a North Star. I also think that makes it much more easy for agencies to be able to compare these solutions, as well as for brands to be able to make the right choices by customer and what they're investing in and why.
I think when we talk about retail media networks, we're mostly talking about ads on their apps and sites as people are shopping, but there's potential offline and all kinds of other media. Do you see everything becoming shoppable, including television, or is that a long way away?
So first part of your question, there is the nuance of on-site. So what happens when I go to retailer.com and what is that experience for me? And ideally, they know more about me because I already shop there. So it should be smarter and more personalized, part one. The second part is they know me as a shopper, so when I'm doing things out in the wild on the internet, you might be able to find me and know more about me and recruit me because you know so much more about me back to that retailer site to buy that special product that the signal is suggesting I might want to buy. That's the behavior that is much more about how you're merging on-site and off-site for retail media. So that's part one. I think the second part is consumers have wildly changed. If you're bored while you're listening to me, you could be buying your favorite thing and having it delivered tonight. That's the new behavior. And so by default, everything now needs to be shoppable because my 10 and 19-year-olds who we're designing for think that's the case. I want it, I need it, I'll buy it now. So we need to make the experience meet where our consumers are, which is much more in terms of moving from discovery to purchase in one click and in a single moment.
Lastly, as everything becomes shoppable and this category remains red hot, do you worry that we're going to go overboard and not focus on the upper funnel branding stuff that's so important to getting people to buy stuff?
This is the question, I think, of fall coming out of advertising week for sure. And I don't worry because consumers will find the things that they need to find. And I think there's this assumption that everyone is sort of living in a traditional journey and that we can assume that they're going down a linear path. It's wild when you see what people are willing and how much they're willing to spend online on things that we would have considered we would have thought as a considered purchase. So I don't worry about filling the sort of the proverbial funnel or your ability to think about full acquisition strategies. I do think what is harder now is every touch point needs to be a better experience. The risk is much higher that a consumer will say this brand isn't doing anything for me in this right moment, therefore I'm not going to buy this brand. I think that's much more of the concern versus being able to fill all these people that are suddenly going to buy your brand because you've decided they're all going to be behaving in the same way.